Welcome to FFC Top 3, a show where we, your FFC hosts, count things down from 3 to number 1. Thank you for joining us this week. If you have a suggestion for a topic for Top 3, be sure to drop us a note on Twitter at FocusFireChat, in our Discord, or even email us at focusfirechat@gmail.com. This week, we're going to discuss our top 3 sandwiches. And it's a smaller group than normal tonight because someone got scared and didn't show up.
I was about to say the entire reason we were doing this didn't show up. He's playing hooky.
Yeah, it's all right. Justin just can't deny the truth that hot dogs are a type of sandwich. It's fine.
He's gonna lose his mind when he listens to this.
Wait. So he's saying hot dogs are not a sandwich. Does
Correct.
he believe are a sandwich? Because they're basically the same thing, right? They're just a piece of sliced bread with connected at the end.
I don't know.
Like
he never gets to argue his point because he's not on the show tonight. I mean,
we can make up
wrong.
we can make up whatever he thinks that we want because he's not here to dispute it.
So obviously he believes that only.
Justin's number 3, a good old-fashioned ballpark sandwich. No, I'm kidding. Number 2. No, I mean Chicago dog. Just make all of them hot dogs of some sort. Chili dog being number 1, of course.
He wrote him in. I mean, this is legit Justin lore right here.
Yup. We're not making this up for him at all.
I don't know. I wanted to give him so much grief for it, but honestly, hot dogs are not one of my favorite sandwiches, so it wasn't even going to make my list. It was going to be like an also ran / Justin fight thing.
Just bring it up to bring it up.
Right. Because, you do that kind of thing. My number 3, though, for me, is a gyro.
Oh, but, okay, now see, this is where I kind of do have a question. Like, how are you, well, I mean, like, but legit, like, how are you defining a gyro as a sandwich?
Okay, so a sandwich, in my opinion, is meat with breading of some sort on either side. A gyro technically falls into that category.
So is a burrito a sandwich?
I mean, no, because it's not breading at all. It's corn tortilla.
Well, but I mean, what's the definition of breading then? Because I mean, a gyro is basically a soft taco.
Bread refers to. I mean, all right. Let us not have the great wars of. Let us just let everybody list their favorite sandwiches and respect everybody's right to define whatever they want as a sandwich.
The truth is relative when it comes to sandwich.
My favorite sandwich this year was Xbox One.
There you go.
Oh, come
there
on.
You go.
Was that because you had to put a lot of bread on either side of it to make it work?
I mean, if you're calling the box of meat, it's weird. Blue, what about you?
My number 3 is just good old peanut butter and jelly. Because I loved peanut butter and jelly. Like, even now, it's an easy thing to make. You can slap one together in, 30 seconds. And depending on the peanut butter you make it with, it can be really fulfilling or, really filling. And Beard and I were kind of talking about this before show, actually. You have to understand, I look at food like a fuel. So it's like whatever gets the job done quickly is going to be kind of more. I'm very pragmatic when it comes to food usually. So that's peanut butter and jelly is my solid number 3.
Nice.
Good.
Blackberry jelly specifically because oh my gosh, it's so good.
For me, number 3 has to be in terms of go-tos. I don't know if we want to count wraps. No, I'm not going to count wraps. I'm honestly going to go with oh my god, why the heck did I just forget about it? Don't tell me the fireball's already hit me that much. The first one I think I would probably end up going for is a standard old turkey and cheese on rye.
Mm-hmm.
I think that overall the rye bread is just one of those breads. I like sandwiches to be a little tougher, which is why I'm a fan of subs, I think, as much as I am. And rye is kind of nice for that because it feels like it's a little bit more of a filling bread too, which goes along. What's that?
Rye is objective.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's objectively the best bread. But it's definitely like a very filling bread. It definitely keeps you going, or at least keeps your stomach filled, and it basically just makes me feel like I can have more coffee. So best thing ever. But that's mine. Turkey and American on rye.
Nice. Now, some of you may have heard some of the voice in the background. That is actually our guest host for the Star Wars episode that we're getting ready to record here, Damo. I gave
Damo.
He
said he wasn't going to participate.
No, he said he wanted to do some of the jibes in and out. So I don't know if Damo's going to have a list necessarily for us, but definitely kind of participate in the discussion as far as like validity of our sandwich choices.
Yeah, absolutely. I can slap one together too if I need to.
Only if you want to. It would be your turn.
I see what you did there. Okay. I see what you did there.
I know. Number 3 probably be meatball sub.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is always a good one. That is always a good one.
Talking about a warm sandwich, my number 2 is my favorite go-to sandwich in the winter, which is a French dip. Simplicity, au jus, deliciousness.
It's a good choice.
Oh god, it's one of my favorites. Just simple and good. Jay, what about you?
So ironically, that is my number 2 as well.
Yes. Yes.
And mostly it's because my office I work downtown Kansas City, and we have Planet Sub, which is a kind of a local sub shop
Kansas
here
thing.
in this. Yeah, I guess it's a Kansas thing. It's I think
There's
based out of Lawrence. I think is where it originally started. But they have one that's called, I think it's called the Big Dipper, and it's a sub, but it's a French dip type sub, and oh my god, you get one of those for lunch, and you're like, it's nap time afterwards. So
food.
Even Quiznos does a pretty decent French dip.
Do they? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Quiznos usually, so. But yeah, no, the French dip is, I've had really good ones. I also like because it has usually, at least the Plant Sub one, they put a bit of like horseradish on it.
Yes.
So it has it has like that kick. Slight kick to it that I really like. So that's number 2 for me.
My beard. What about your number 2?
Number 2 would probably have to be sticking with what I said before because I'm boring. A turkey hoagie. And nice. I call them hoagies because I'm from the Northeast, so I know some people call them subs. I know some people call them like grinders and whatnot. I'm like, no, it's a hoagie. Like this is 12 inches of bread with.
I think is another word I've heard used for them.
Yeah,
aren't they ultimately all the same? Because I've heard some people say that grinders are not subs.
No, I'm gonna say I would say that like subs and hoagies are pretty similar, but grinders I would say no. Like I think that they're a little on the they're generally smaller to begin with.
Oh, okay.
So is that they really would kind of fit? Yeah.
Okay.
I've never. I'm like it's more of like I'm wherever I am. I want whatever I can get for as cheap as I can get. So if you want to call it a grinder, I don't care.
You're talking to somebody that's like really boring for the most part, and I basically just enjoy like chicken and turkey on my sandwiches.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
But the thing I have as some know, I live, like I said, in the Northeast, so I have the benefit where I'm around for Wawa. So anybody out there that knows Wawa, you know what I'm talking about.
He's not just making up a word; it is an actual place.
No.
It is a place.
It is not the it is not just the thing that all right. Have you ever seen the logo for Wawa? Like, have I ever talked about that at all?
I don't know if you've talked about it.
Okay, so there's a goose on the logo. So it's legitimately it basically thinking it's going wah wah, like the ghost. Or goose, not ghost.
Now I want Ghost to do wah wah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say wah wah. I'm gonna actually get this so you can see it. And then for anybody else that cares to look it up at all, but there you go. It's legitimately.
Oh, it's like a flying goose.
Got it.
It's a flying goose. Anyway, the thing about about hoagies though, like they're generally a little longer. Plus they like the way that the bread works out. Again, I'm like more into the bread about sandwiches than I am much else. But the piece about of course most hoagie or sub sandwiches bread is that it's generally like cooked on the spot or at least baked on the spot. And a lot of other it's just better off for most sandwiches. So turkey, American, and then I will usually do like lettuce or spinach depending how I feel, and then onions because I'm that kind of person. Very light oil. That is all that I want. I don't really like any vinegar or mayo. I cut all that out. So anyway, that's it from my end. Actually, now that I think about it, going to Guardian Con, we'll just shout that out real quick.
We're just gonna go explore Wawas.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's actually a few that they put down in Florida, but they're newer-ish. They just moved down south because they've mostly been like a Northeast thing. But yeah, anyway, I'll stop advertising for Wawa. Not that I was really advertising for them.
We are not endorsed by this.
No,
if you would like to.
because we've got like 3 of the 4 people that are on this right now that don't even know what the hell I'm talking about.
Actually, I do because the NPR Politics podcast made a huge stink about Wawa's versus some of the other different. Because it's kind of like a convenience store.
Yeah,
dude, the biggest battle is going to be Wawa versus Sheetz. Like out this way, that's exactly what it is. It's either Wawa or Sheetz.
I don't know what you just said, but okay.
Sheetz is the other. Sheetz is the other.
It's a made-up word and stuff that goes on my bed. So
yeah, really.
Yeah.
No, Sheetz is the other convenience store, basically. That is like there is a line that it feels like they each don't cross, just to make sure that they like stay competitive with each other, but don't. It's sort of like internet in the States where you've got like 2 choices. In this case, it's like, well, I could go to now what is called Speedway, which used to be Hess, or I could go to Wawa, or I could go to Speedway, which used to be Hess, or I could go to Sheetz. Because when I went out to California, and I think I've said this story a couple times, when I went out to California with my sister, I had to ask her, what in the world do you guys do for like quick convenience style coffee? And she was like, nothing. There is no good place out here that does it except for like Starbucks. I was like, that is extraordinarily depressing.
Because those words are not the words that I would use to describe Starbucks.
Well, and I don't mind Starbucks. I'm not to like say that.
No,
I hate
yeah,
Starbucks
no, same. But
do,
it's not.
But
it's not quick and convenient.
And it's also cost. Like Starbucks costs a lot more, even with like their basic large coffees or anything, versus Wawa. Yeah, it's just a cost thing too. Like it adds up for how much coffee I consume, so that helps a little bit. Anyway,
right there with you.
I gotta say, now that I've carried this on from like top 3 favorite things you can get at Wawa that nobody else can on this podcast, probably good to go to those number ones, I guess.
Well, we got number 2 yet from Damo.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Damo. I thought Damo was just shutting up about everything.
Actually, mine is French dip slathered in wasabi.
Wasabi. That is an interesting one.
That's a new one.
I'm gonna have to go try this now.
Pretty similar. It's pretty similar to horseradish.
Right? No, it is. Yeah, but
really
I just never. I would have never thought to put it on there.
Yeah, I just prefer it. It gives it a nice solid kick, and I think it works really well with the sauce.
Cool. Well, number 1 for me actually kind of harkens back to Beard's number 3, because if I see this on the menu anywhere, no matter where we're at, if we're in a fancy restaurant or a lower class restaurant, if I see this on the menu, I am going to try their version of it. It is the thing that I will stop and try anybody's style. And it also has rye bread. It's a good old-fashioned patty melt.
I was about to say, if you take my number 1 again, I'm going to be kind of annoyed.
Or
just impressed, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not if your number 1 is the one I think it is, I'm actually not a big fan of that one, but patty melts are great. It is your rye bread with grilled onions, some solid cheese. I've had it with different types of cheese, most famously with Swiss cheese, hamburger patty, another piece of rye bread. Super yummy. Some people put mustard on it. I'm kind of ambivalent with that, but yeah, it's one of my favorites of all time. For sure. Blue?
It sounds delicious. I've never had one.
So good. So
yeah,
good.
no, it does sound delicious.
Midwest thing.
Mine is pretty strongly and firm. I mean, I'm kind of the same way with it as Green is with hers. Mine's a Reuben. Simply because I will eat sauerkraut out of the can. Like I love sauerkraut. You can blame my heritage on that. Like
I'm German too, but gross.
God, so am I. No, you don't get to blame anything. That's just you, man. That's just all you.
It depends very much on like how the sauerkraut is prepared.
Yes,
I will say.
That's fair, and that's fair. There is on
it. I'm like, no way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well,
but like a
Reuben
Reuben
versions of any food.
Yeah, that's very true. Like, but like Reubens are just. I mean, I'm the same way. If I see a Reuben and I haven't had that area, like, and Reubens are very like. They change in the regions. Like a deep South Reuben is very different than what we have here in the Midwest. And honestly, that's like really the predominantly two that come to mind. They're somewhat similar, but there's differences in how they prepare them.
They're actually really big in Washington.
Yeah. I think I was about to say. I think over on that coast.
Local berry.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's my number one.
All right.
Your turn, Beard.
Oh, okay. My number one would actually have to be like a hot sandwich. And it is a Philly cheesesteak.
Yep. Yes! That's my also Rand.
Because, again,
I'm going to piss Beard
off.
My response is...
It's fine, because you always piss me off anyway.
True.
That's entirely untrue. Blue's actual level of pissing me off over the course of the year of knowing him at this point has been limited to nothing, which is amazing. Which apparently we were supposed to hate each other.
I know.
I don't know what happened on that one. I don't get it. Anyway, whole reason, of course, comes down to again, it's all about the bread. Coming back to living in the Northeast and everything, I've got Amoroso rolls that are up here, and if you are in any way familiar with them, they're generally like a little fresher. I know that they've gotten out to the rest of the country, but they pretty well started over this way. Just absolutely like the best rolls that you can put for a steak sandwich. That being said, I like to prepare my own. So what I will generally do is barbecue sauce in with the steak meat. I will put a little bit of pepper and like a slight bit of salt, like a very slight bit of salt, because the meat already is salty as it is. Afterward, I will toast the rolls, the insides of them, and then I will grill both sides with American cheese, and that is how you do it.
No Cheese Whiz?
No Cheese Whiz. I'm actually an all natural cheese kind of guy on my on like the Philly cheesesteaks, because there's two acceptable styles between it, which I understand. And I've had it with the Cheese Whiz. I still enjoy it with the Cheese Whiz, but the texture of Cheese Whiz versus actual cheese is of course very different. So it depends on the mood I'm in.
Okay. Interesting.
Anyway.
So anyways, my pissing off of Beard at the moment here is
here it goes. This will be the thing that I punch him for.
We have a restaurant in this area called Pepper Jack's, and it's a very, very unique twist on Philly. I don't even want to call it a Philly cheesesteak because it really isn't. But basically, what they took, they have cheesesteaks, but what they do, there's another thing that they offer. It's a burrito. And it's the entire ingredients of a Philly cheesesteak, but then they put it in like a Chipotle-like burrito. Oh my god! Okay. Oh my god! That is amazing.
Pretty good.
But mostly because the way that a Philly cheesesteak is prepped, as far as the meat, it just makes the meat taste so freaking good, and yet it still is pretty juicy as well. And put that in a burrito, and it's just it's heaven.
And I've had it prepped with a burrito, and I actually do. I don't mind it with like the burrito roll. I've had like being again from like closer to Philly at this point. Like I've seen it. I've seen a Philly cheesesteak prepared in so many different ways. We have it freaking on our pizza. We have it in wrap form. We have it in like everything because it's the Northeast and that's what they like to do. But just there is something about just doing it traditional, I guess you could say, that makes it much better off in terms of like what the style of said cheesesteak was trying to portray.
Right.
Right. Well, and the taste is, I mean, it's obviously the original style is you're going back to your bread comment too. I mean, because I'm right there with you on that. Like, you can definitely tell if the bread's been sitting out for a while.
Yes, you can. Yeah, either it's been like frozen bread that they've kept for a little while and they've had to like thaw out or whatnot. But yeah, just you can, if you're somebody that enjoys bread as much as I do, then really my family does too. That's the big thing. Like the bread is what I think makes a lot of these sandwiches that I've talked about.
Yeah, sure. Damo, you want to close this out with your number one?
It was the same as his.
Oh, really?
Yep.
All right,
So,
that makes it easy.
What we have come to the conclusion of is that we're all boring and we all like the same things.
No.
Is that, or we just all know, we all recognize the finer things in life.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as, did anybody have any also rans type thing, or?
No, mine was that Philly burrito, but you know, it's a burrito, so it's kind of hard to say. Also,
I mean, I could say things I'm like not a fan of, like anything with roast beef on it, for instance.
Really? That's like my favorite.
Really? Like that? Yeah, that's.
So this comes back to the fact that I am also not a big fan of ham. So that's another thing that people look at.
I'm right there with you on that one. But
it's
roast beef.
It's mostly like the fattier meats in a lot of ways, because most of the roast beef that I've experienced has been like it's generally like a fattier set in a way, versus turkey where it's like lower fat. Same with chicken.
Flavor.
Yep.
See, I guess that's why I really like Arby's. The way they do their roast beef is because
that's the exception to the rule.
I was about to say I get like the fatty aspect of like your standard roast beef. I'm like, yeah, totally. I don't mind it, but I can totally see that. But I was like, when I think of a roast beef sandwich, it's definitely the Arby's sandwich is what immediately comes to mind. Right.
Well, I'm going to say with that's pretty much like as terrible as it is when I go to Arby's anymore. Like, I got almost hooked on it thanks to my dad, because my dad's just a big fan of Arby's. Before he couldn't really go there too often anymore. But long story short, like he almost always got the roast beef sandwich, and I was like, let me try it one time. Let me see how it is. I was like, okay, this is actually really good. I understand it entirely.
Get a roast beef sandwich and a Jamocha shake. You're good.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Well, and most times that I go there anymore, like they have those Asiago, the Asiago chicken sandwiches. Yeah. Those are delicious. Like, it's really, as somebody else that also likes Chick-fil-A, that's the other problem. Like the way that's all put together. Anyway.
Nice.
Are you guys ready to have the unraveling of the unveiling of next week's top three, or when we were again next?
I'm almost scared after this one.
This one's a little bit easier, less contentious. This is going to be top 3 adult beverages.
Oh, okay. We're all going to experience most of those because of next week anyway.
Yes.
So that'll make it easy.
Your homework's going to be nice and easy.
Homework is going to be research at GuardianCon and come back.
Yep. Alive.
Research at GuardianCon. Enjoy with friends. Come back home alive. and enjoy more with friends. I think that sounds fun.
Exactly. So thanks for listening to the top 3. Again, hit us up if you have an idea or topic you want to hear us discuss at any of those 3 places, Twitter, Gmail, or in the Discord. I've been gathering a lot of the people's suggestions as they make it at me, putting it into a spreadsheet so we can have a bunch of different shows queued up for the future. So see you guys later.
See ya.